It is 4:45 in the morning. Um, so I am going to be speaking in a low voice, but I wanted to do a quick video because I was I just was doing stuff. And lately I've been really committed to showing up for the things that I really want to be doing and embracing the processes that come with trying new things. And um, something that was like something I saw online was you have to pursue your creative desires or else you'll be consumed by like the consequences of not doing that, right? Where like if you don't express yourself, you will suffer. And that's why people have to create art. That's why people have to sing. That's why people have to dance. Because if you don't do those things, you'll self-destruct because you'll just be denying yourself your truest desire, your some of your most natural desires, which is to dance and sing and just love people and be with them, and that is what art allows us to do. That is what, creative expression allows people to do. So there's no denying it. And I think this is just such an important topic, mostly because personally, I feel like I am suffering from the consequences of not pursuing creative desires. Like, I feel like over time, just through life experiences, I've been told that like it is not possible to be an artist in the real world. Like that is reserved for certain kind of people. Like certain people get to have that life and those opportunities, and they look a certain kind of way, and they have a certain amount of money, and they live in certain areas, and it's always like other people in other places with other options, right, that can do the creative things that you want to do, but not you. And what's really interesting is like now I feel like with everything that we've seen on TikTok and YouTube and Netflix and Tubi, that idea is really being challenged. And I feel this personally, and I feel like a lot of people feel like this. We want to get involved. We want to do more creatively. We want to expand on the things that we've already started to see blossom in this new era of life that we're living in. And yet we don't have the tools. And what I mean by tools, I mean the internal tools to actually navigate the processes that you have to navigate through in order to try something new, in order to learn how to be good at the thing that you're trying, in order to use that thing in order to better the world around you. Like, these things don't just happen. Like, they take work. It takes building your skill level to a degree that you can actually be helpful to people. And I'm not saying that like the only way to build your skill level is to go to college or to work at a certain job, but in general, you have to be willing to do more. Like you have to be more involved in your craft. You have to be just consuming and giving more within your industry. Like I saw this clip of, it was like Millie Bobby Brown, who is one of the most like well-known actresses, of like the contemporary generation. I don't know what the heck you call these young kids who have been working their whole lives. But she's very well known, and she was saying how she doesn't watch movies or like she doesn't watch TV shows because they're too long. And it's like, but that's what you do. And you have to be engaged in your craft in order to really have something to offer, in order for people to have something to latch onto so that they can then give something back in return. Like, that's how you make communal wheels go. And because people, I think this is just my opinion, I think because of capitalism, because people are overworked and underpaid, or people are just like overworked in general, and because people are not allowed to pursue their creative desires in a real, genuine, authentic way, you just get people who, like, you stick to whatever lane you were put in, and you just do that regardless of whether or not it actually serves you, regardless of whether or not it makes you actually feel good. Like, I bet the money of doing what she does, Millie Bobby Brown, feels great. But if you don't watch movies, if you don't feel like the desire to participate in the other half of the making a movie experience, which is watching the movies, then we have to call into question whether or not like you are absolutely pursuing the things that you are genuinely like interested in. Like, you could be interested in one thing, but like you kind of have to be interested in the other in order to make sense of the first thing. And so often I think we're just denied opportunities to actually do that. Like you learn how to paint, but you don't learn how to paint in the style that you want to paint in because you don't have the time to learn the art history and get more involved in that so that you can be the painter that you want to be. You don't have time to be a producer, but you love to sing because you don't have time to find a studio and do all of this and play with the equipment because you just can't afford the session. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much that gets in the way of us pursuing things, and then what's really fucked up and crazy is like our trauma then gets in the way of us pursuing things, right? When we have just like repressed ourselves because we don't have access, because emotionally maybe we don't have access, right? Because we have trauma, right? Then you try to do something, and then when you fail at it, you think about your trauma and the limitations of that, and that makes you overwhelmed. And so then you're afraid to try the new thing because you're afraid that you're going to feel those feelings again. You're afraid that you're going to experience that trauma again. And then it's like you don't get to try anything new. And I think we just don't give enough space to recognize how much time is needed to do the things that we're passionate about. And I don't think that we recognize how important it is for us to be doing those things if we want to heal, if we want to resolve our problems, if we want to be in community. Like, one of the benefits of living in this era is that we don't have the same emphasis on work, and so we can step away from that and actually focus more on each other. But I think we're so afraid, and we just don't have the experience that we don't do the things, and we get down on ourselves and we close our minds off. But I think it would be really cool, and I'm talking to myself at this point, right? I think it would be really cool if everyone could just sit down and be more committed and more determined to do the things that they want to do and pursue them and do it one step at a time, regardless of whether or not you understand, because that's all you can do. That's all you can do. Like, I'm going to put this video out. I don't know if I make sense. I don't know if it's communicating all the thoughts and ideas that I think it will, but maybe it'll help somebody. Maybe it'll help somebody feel less alone. Maybe it'll help me feel less like I am an amateur at doing all the different things that I want to pursue. So maybe it is beneficial. I don't know. But I think we have to give each other more time and space to figure it out.